Good evening and welcome to Chesapeake Public Schools Family Empowerment Webinar presented by the Office of Family and Community Engagement, or FACE. I am Laura Lerf, one of the FACE specialists. Our office, which is under the Department of Engagement, seeks to create meaningful partnerships in order to inspire, engage, and empower families, educators, and community agencies to support the initiatives of Chesapeake Public Schools. We are typically available Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and can be reached by our main phone line at 757-482-5923 or FACE, F-A-C-E, at cpschools.com. We're excited to offer our families a course catalog entitled Peak Parent University that outlines all of our events for the school year. You can also catch up on pre-recorded webinars, access a wealth of educational resources, and make community connections to promote your family's well-being. Please visit cpschools.com and search Peak Parent University. We thank you for joining us tonight for Unlocking Summer Fun, exploring enriching programs for all ages. We are excited to have joining us tonight panelists from the YMCA as well as Chesapeake Parks Recreation and Tourism. Before we begin, I want to let you know this webinar is being recorded to share on our Chesapeake Public Schools YouTube channel. Participants' cameras and the chat feature are disabled, so if you have any questions, please use the Q&A feature located at the bottom of this screen. We will answer all questions by the conclusion of tonight's presentation. And now I'd like to introduce our panelists. First, we have Madison Williams, Family Experience Director for the YMCA. And from Chesapeake Parks, Recreation, and Tourism, we have Thurman Diamond, Recreation Superintendent. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for being here tonight. At this time, I would like to turn the program over to Madison Williams from the YMCA. Over to you, Madison.
Thank you, Laura. Hi, everyone. I am Madison from the Great Bridge Hickory YMCA. I've been here for just about 5 years now, and I oversee everything that has to do with family programs. So all of our family events, our summer programs, our childcare, and everything in between, that is everything that I oversee. And so I'm just going to be sharing with you guys today everything that is going to be happening at the Y as the summer approaches. So at the Y, we are a nonprofit organization that emphasizes social responsibility, youth development, and healthy living. Last summer alone, between the Chesapeake locations, we were visited roughly 92,000 times, and most of those people are going to be our families who are invested in our childcare, our youth development programs, our summer camps, and our sports leagues. And specifically, our Chesapeake locations are going to be Great Bridge Hickory, Greenbrier Family, Taylor Bend, and Edinburgh. And at the Y, we focus on 4 major offerings, and those are going to be childcare, summer camp, sports, and aquatics. So being a member at the Y, you're going to have access to all 21 locations, and these are going to be all throughout the 757. So we have Norfolk locations, we have Virginia Beach locations, we have Eastern Shore locations, Suffolk and Portsmouth, as well as our Chesapeake locations. Being a member, you're going to have member benefits that are going to include member rates for all of our programs. So you are able to be a member or not a member and still participate in our programs. However, as a member, you would get those cheaper prices as a benefit. Also, being a member, you're going to get 2 complimentary personal training sessions for every new member that is 18 plus. You're also going to be able to access our virtual training websites, and we do also have an open door scholarship program that everyone can apply for, and you would just have to provide your previous year's tax returns, and you would get put into a sliding scale that would determine what you would be paying each month as a member. In our family programs, we do have childcare, which is going to be free for members, and they can participate in this every single day, up to 2 hours per child per day. And this is going to be at every single center in the Chesapeake School District. With childcare, you do have to maintain on premises during the entire time that you are dropping your kids in our care. In addition to our childcare, we do also have weekly family programs that you can participate in. This includes STEM classes, Messy Wednesday classes, circle time. We have family bingo, fun with food, family game night, and those are just to name a few. And if you go to the QR codes, they are individualized for each location, so you can get more information there as well with those. We do also offer parents timeout. As a member, you get 1 free per child per month, and these are at all of our locations again. So each of your children would be able to come in for 3 hours during this program, and you guys would actually get to leave the premises. This is a licensed childcare program, so everything that you do see with that program is going to be licensed. So we're following ratios. We do mat training, so there's always going to be someone licensed that's going to be on site to take care of your children. We also have monthly family events each month, and these are typically free events that your family is able to participate in. So in January, we had a polar plunge, we had Christmas events, we have a Valentine's Day dance coming up, and those also vary depending on the location that you would be participating in it at. And then for summer camp, registration is going to open January 30th. Our summer camp is going to be a full day camp. Each week there's going to be registrations open, and this is going to be all day. So staff are going to be licensed day camps that are going to be leading your children in daily activities that can include anything from STEM to archery, swimming, team building, sports, and the list goes on. And those are varying depending on what location that you guys are going to be at. With summer camp, there are going to be different age groups. So we have a 5 to 9, a 10 to 12, and a teen camp as well. And all the activities are going to be accommodated to meet the needs of your child's age. We also offer specialty camps throughout the summer. And this summer, we're offering Nerf camp, sports camp, and then we also have teen camps that are specialized to gain leadership skills for those children.
Madison, we do have a question from a parent. How old do you have to be to work at the Y?
So depending on the department that you are interested in for your child, you can be 15 as a lifeguard. Any other position, you're going to have to be 16. And that is for sports, other aquatics positions, childcare, front desk. The minimum age is 16, except for the one lifeguarding position, you are able to be 15, and you do just have to provide like the workers' rights paperwork through the state of Virginia. For our sports programs this summer, we do have multiple offerings. So this summer, we are going to be offering t-ball, basketball, cheer, and karate. We do also have multiple other sports programs that are going to be offered throughout the summer, and these are going to vary depending on the age of the child and also their skill levels, and we have something that's going to be offered to each of those ages and skill levels all the way through age 18. And a few of those things that is going to be offered are going to be our clinics. These are one-on-one clinics and also group clinics that are going to be specialized in the sport that you are participating in. So we have volleyball clinics, we have one-on-one football clinics, we have one-on-one basketball clinics, and these are all going to be specialized with trainers to be able to advance the skills of your child to get the needs met that a sports season may not be able to have to get your child to. And then we do also have sports of all sorts. This is for our younger age group children. This is from 2 to 5, and this is an introductory sports class. So this is going to teach children a little bit about each sport, just so that you guys are able to see, maybe your child is not interested in football and they're actually interested in soccer or basketball. This program is going to be able to let you guys see and try out each of those sports to be able to see what your child is interested in. And then lastly, we have aquatics. Aquatics is kind of the same way. So we're going to have programs all the way from 6 weeks up to adult swim lessons. So we're going to have private and group swim lessons, and these are all going to vary depending on skill level. So our aquatics director will put you guys into stages that are going to best fit the needs of your child. And then from there, you guys will go through a 4-week program for your child. And at the end of that program, the swim instructor will be able to tell you where your child can be placed, if they need to move up to the next stage, and if they should stay at the same one. And then we also have adult swim lessons, so it's never too late to ever figure out how to swim. We have offerings for that as well. And then we also have aquatics conditioning. This is going to be a more advanced program that we have for kids who have already aged out of the staged lessons. They can join this program, and it's going to provide skills that are going to prep them maybe for middle school or high school sports swim teams, or Tide, or whatever the community team that they want to be a part of. This is going to help prep them to get into that program. And then lastly, I did just want to mention, we are always looking for strong candidates for the Y. So if anyone is interested, the links or the QR codes that are on each of these slides is going to take you guys to the website where you're able to figure out more information. If you have questions about pricing, you're more than welcome to ask. Now I do have that information, but you can find specific details about each of these things on the QR codes on this slide as well. And that is all that I have today. I'm more than happy to answer any questions that anyone has, or just talk about the Y more if anyone has specific input.
We do have some questions. So the first one, what are your hours for the summer camps?
So Great Bridge specific is going to be 6:30 a.m. drop off to 6 o'clock p.m. pickup. Our Taylor Bend and Greenbrier location is going to be very similar. So we're running about 12-hour long programs each day. It depends on the needs of each of the branches. So typically Taylor Bend is going to have that 6 a.m., 6:30 drop off, as well as that 6 p.m. pickup. It might vary 30 minutes between our locations, but that's going to be the average for our drop off and pickup.
All right, thank you. And another question, are swim lessons included in the camps?
So we do have swim lessons that are included, not price included, but you can register for a swim lesson that's within the day camp schedule, and our staff are able to pick them up, be an authorized pickup, and there's some paperwork that would go into that, but you would be able to register them for a swim lesson, and then we would take them out of camp, bring them to the swim lessons, and then take them back to camp, so that you're not having to come back and forth to our locations to be able to have the swim lessons for your child.
All right, thank you. We've got some more questions coming in. Are you able to tell us when enrollment is for after school care for the upcoming year?
So after school enrollment is going to start in midsummer. So right now is not going to open probably until August or late July is when the aftercare is going to open for the 2024-2025 school year.
All right. And then are there any transportation options for parents that work from home?
For summer camp?
Yes, I'm assuming.
From home, I do not believe so. I know that Greenbrier Family has a drop off and pickup transportation for another location that's in Virginia Beach. However, we do not have transportation services that pick up from homes.
Okay, thank you. The next question, are there options if a child is signed up all summer for camps, but it ends up not being a good fit for them?
Yes, so our summer camp registrations are going to be week-long registrations. So let's say that you really need childcare all summer long and you register for every single week. And then in week 2, come to find out like it's just not working, or your child's not having a great time, whatever the situation may be. We will be able to cancel the rest of the summer, and have that, as long as we have that 2-week notice, or if it's an extenuating circumstance, moving or military orders, anything of that sort, we'll be able to accommodate those needs for you guys.
All right, thank you. And then can you talk a little bit about what a typical day at camp would look like?
Yeah. So I used to be a camp counselor myself. So typically in the morning is going to be quiet time just for about 20-30 minutes up until more kids get there. So around 8 o'clock, 8:30, there's going to be a morning snack. And then about 9 o'clock is when your child's camp is going to really begin. So there's going to be an opening ceremony just to get them excited for the day. They're going to sing some songs. They're going to do some opening activities together as an entire group. From then, each age group is going to break off. They're going to do their morning routine, whether that's let's put on sunscreen for the day, let's talk about our goals, let's talk about one of the qualities that the Y likes to emphasize. So they'll get into their small groups after they meet with their big group. From then, they're going to go through and do activities throughout the day. So the younger age group is typically going to start um, doing some outside play. They're going to maybe go over to archery. They're going to come back and do soccer or kickball. They're going to do team building skills. And then at some point during the day, they will go to a craft. They might go in and do a relay race, either in the gym or on the field. And then they will have an hour of swimming each day. And then about 3 o'clock ish, all of the groups will come back together from doing their activities and we'll have a closing ceremony. And this is just highlighting the day, maybe some good news or whatever it might be that day, something that they want to highlight for that day. And then after that is when it kind of goes back to they'll have the afternoon snack, they'll have lunch throughout the day. But at about 4 o'clock ish, 3:34, after they do that closing ceremony, they're going to kind of wind down, have their afternoon snack, pickup starts to happen, and it goes back to that free play. Where maybe they're breaking into different groups. They're doing sensory in one spot, they're doing team building in one spot, maybe they're playing basketball or football in one spot, kind of divided it up depending on what they want to do. But a typical day is going to be broken down into each of those categories. So they're going to have craft every day, they're going to go to archery, they're going to swim for sure, they're going to do a STEM project of some sort. And that's how a typical day at Great Bridge would look. I know Greenbrier Family and Taylor Bend, depending on their facility and the amenities they have and the resources that they have, it might look a little bit different, but nothing too far off of that path of having a structured, this is what they're going to do each day, including those activities.
All right, awesome. Thank you. The next question, can we choose only certain weeks for summer camp?
Yes, of course. So we have a lot of families. Their kids really, really, really love our Nerf camp and our sports camps. So that maybe they'll only sign up for those two. Or if you guys have vacations planned or anything like that, you guys don't have to do every single week, especially with schedules and all of that kind of stuff. So if you guys only need 1 week of care or you need a whole month of care, it's definitely tailored to be able to meet the needs of the members to make sure that you guys are getting the care that you need.
All right, thank you. We got some more questions rolling in. What is the fee for camp?
So this year, the fees have not been released yet. For 2023, a week of camp for non-members was $197, and a week for members was $197. Non-members was $207. So it's not going to be much more than that, but they have not been released yet this year to staff or public.
Okay, thank you. The next question, is there summer camp for 5-year-olds?
Yes, so 5 is actually the age that it's going to start at. So their age group for a 5-year-old is going to be 5 to 9. Within that 5 to 9 age range, though, we do split that up into halves as well. So your child, if they're going to be 5, they're probably going to be with children no older than 7, except for at that opening and closing ceremony, which is when all of the kids are together.
All right, the next question, if you have a current balance with the YMCA, is there a way to do a payment plan or dispute?
Yes, so we do have payment plan options depending on what the program is. Disputing is also an option. We do have if you want to hit the QR code, there is a centralized phone number that you can call. If it's branch specific and you want to talk to someone specific within that department, my recommendation is to always come in person, just so that you don't have to go through our corporate call center and then get transferred and multiple steps. So it's sometimes easier just to come to the center if it's department specific or a specific situation that needs to be resolved.
All right, the next question, how is poor behavior addressed?
So in childcare, we do not do, we don't discipline the children. We firmly believe in just de-escalation. If poor behavior continues and it's at the safety of either the staff, the child, or other children, there's going to be a character development that we would discuss with the parent. So we try to work with the parents up until, like I said, it's becoming a safety issue. But for my staff specifically in childcare, we just do de-escalation. We don't do timeout, we'll do time in. So we'll sit with someone for 10 minutes and we'll color and we'll talk about how we feel. Maybe we'll go play a different game. But we really stay away from disciplining children. We don't believe that it's our staff's place, rather the parents' decision on how they want to handle a specific behavior. If it's serious, something where it's just it's beyond safety and it's something that we don't have control of, it's going to be an immediate call to a parent. And this is all situational too. It depends on the child's, their needs, their accommodations. So I would say it's situational.
All right, thank you. And then how many and which rooms do the kids have access to at the Great Bridge location? And about how many kids are in each room?
Does it say for summer camp or for childcare?
It doesn't.
Okay, I'll do both. So childcare, we have a toddler and infant room that's going to be for 6 weeks to 3 and not potty trained. We have a play zone room, which is like the tube rooms that you might see at like Chick-fil-A. And that's going to be for ages 3 and potty trained up to age 7. And then we have an iZone that's going to be for ages 5 to 12. In each room, on a given day, and also depending on the time, there's going to be in our infant and toddler room anywhere from 4 to 10 children in the evening. It's a lot busier in the morning. And then in play zone, on average, we have about 15 to 20 kids in there at a time. And then in our iZone, that's roughly the same, that 15 to 20 range. And we do go by our Virginia State licensed childcare standards. So we're going to stay within that ratio that is required by the state of Virginia in childcare, especially when it comes to our infants and toddlers. For summer camp, they have access to almost every space in our facility. So they're going to be able to be at the pool deck. They're going to be able to use iZone. They're going to be able to use the gym. They're going to be able to use multi-purpose. Any space that is licensed for a summer camp, they're going to be able to utilize. And then for age groups for that, it's going to vary depending on what point of the day that they're at, but typically about 20 to 25 kids are going to be in a group for summer camp.
All right, it looks like we have answered all the questions for the Y portion. Please feel free to continue to put any questions for Madison from the YMCA into the Q&A. We are going to be moving on to Chesapeake Parks and Rec. So if you have YMCA questions, it might be easy for our panelists if you just specify that they're for the Y. Oh, wait, we might have one. Oh, we have a thank you, Madison. Very informative.
Thank you, guys.
All right, and we will go ahead and turn it over to Thurman Diamond from Chesapeake Parks and Rec.
All right, sorry about that. I was still on mute. I apologize. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Thurman Diamond. I am the Recreation Superintendent for the City of Chesapeake with Parks, Recreation, and Tourism. Here's our wonderful slideshow about what we do for the City of Chesapeake. We have our Youth Programs Division along with our Therapeutic Recreation Division, and our Specialty Camp / Instructional Programs Division and Athletic Programs Divisions. So all 4 of those divisions operate different camps throughout the summer. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot one in my Outdoor Program Division. I apologize. And they all operate different camps throughout the summer, and our slideshow will just give you a brief overview of what we do. So what we do, we create a safe space for all of our youth so that they can socially interact with their peers. So we handle different games, arts and crafts. They do all types of centers throughout our summer camp. So you'll see them in our gymnasium, maybe outside at some of our parks. We actually take the kids on different field trips. They get to go to different locations. We'll have summer camps that'll even go out to our splash park that we have in Western Branch. So we will take the kids throughout the city doing different things. And as stated before, our different programs, we have our Summer Blast program. That program is for children 6 through 12, but they have to have completed kindergarten in order to attend. We have our outdoor program. Outdoor programs actually has a junior ranger program, which can handle kids 5 and up. But then they also have a traditional program for 6 through 10, and then they have a teen-like program for 11 and up. We have our therapeutic recreation program. Therapeutic recreation will do a younger child/teen summer camp, which they typically do in August, and sometimes they'll do an adult summer camp in the month of June and July, depending on the needs of our community. And then we'll have our specialty camps. Those will be more camps detailed. They're mostly week-long camps for about 2 to 5 hours roughly. So here's just some of the certifications and trainings that we require our staff to get. They get more than this, but these are some of the major ones that we love to highlight. Everyone, of course, does their first aid, CPR, AED. They get their mandated reporter training, bloodborne pathogens. They get a bullying prevention training. We get playground safety. We go over field trips, policies and procedures, medication training. They're all fully trained. We are not a licensed program, but we do follow all of the licensure standards. Being that we are the city, we are exempt. So because we are exempt, we have to follow the standards even though we're not licensed. My staff's responsibility, they are to plan and implement various age-appropriate activities for the youth. They maintain clean equipment and a safe space, and they must frequently sanitize and disinfect the area. So we base our program throughout the day where they'll have to do different types of activities. We have recreation activities where they have a low, medium, and high level games that they play. So these will be structured activities. It could be something as simple as them playing clapball to something a little bit more advanced as maybe them playing football. They have to do music type things. So it could be something as them playing freeze dance, having a music instructor come by and teaching something music related. Anything could happen under the music umbrella. They do arts and crafts, which could be anything from going to paint with a twist to them actually doing something arts and craftsy in the building. And then, of course, we require that everyone does some type of STEAM activity, which is science, technology, engineering, art, and math. We like to make sure that our kids are very well-rounded in their summer camp. And this is generally throughout all of our programs.
And Thurman, we have a question. Is this at a specific location?
So it depends. Those particular things we do at our summer blast sites. So which is my next slide. And so with Summer Blast, I believe those sites will be Deep Creek, Indian River, and South Norfolk. Our therapeutic programs will be held at Great Bridge, and they will follow a similar trajectory. Let me go back. Since I'm talking about it, they will follow that similar recreation art, and they do a lot of community-based activities. So some of their activities is more about getting them out into the community. Therapeutic is, of course, dealing with our individuals with special needs. So they have a different program format. But generally, most of our traditional structured summer camps, yes, will follow that type of methodology.
And one more question. Will these places be listed somewhere? Are they on your website anywhere?
They are on the city's website, which is www.cityofchesapeake.net. And you can look for Parks, Recreation, and Tourism. Once you go to our page, you can see we have tabs for summer camps. You'll see Summer Blast, which is the youth programs. We also have things like our Stay and Play after school program. You'll see things for instructional programs. They are all on our website, yes. So our Summer Blast Camp operates Monday through Friday between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. We will start the week the week that school lets out, so that mid-June time until about the mid of August. Traditionally, it traditionally ends the second to third week of August. It depends on how the weeks fall. We traditionally do an 8-week camp. Like I said, our locations, we always say that they vary, but I believe we just had a meeting yesterday. And so we decided that it would be Deep Creek, South Norfolk Community Center, and Indian River. They do all those wonderful activities that I spoke of earlier. And then we also take them on 2 field trips per week. We do 1 paid field trip and 1 free field trip. Our free field trip will always be to one of the local city parks that we have here in the city of Chesapeake. The city of Chesapeake, we actually have about 90 parks. Not all of them are incorporated, so there's about 70 some that are actually incorporated. Some are just random lands, but we try our best to take them to the fun parks. So they'll get a chance to go to places like Oak Grove, Northwest River Park, Elizabeth River Park, City Park. They'll go to places like that. They're Deep Creek Park. And then we do our paid field trip where they get a chance to do some of the wonderful field trips that you see in front of you, like Mad Science, Nerf's Up, our Daily Gnome. The Great Dismal Swamp actually has a wildlife preserve that will come out and work with us. So all of these are the different things that we try our best to make sure that our kids get a chance to see during the summer. And so this wonderful slide right here is just some of the fun things that the kids got a chance to do and experience last summer, actually. And so you get to see them having fun. The picture of the gentleman in the yellow shirt that's showing one of the kids how to twirl a basketball on his finger. That is actually a Harlem Globetrotter. We were able to partner with them, and they actually came down and recorded a series. That young man is actually from the Deep Creek community area. And so he came to the community center, and we actually got a chance to be on NBC News with that. So we were really happy about that. All right, next we have our outdoor camps. And our outdoor camps are a fun camp as well. They actually, even though it says outdoor, they do spend time indoors. They will be held at our Western Branch Community Center. And these kids actually get a chance to do a lot of outdoor specific activities. They do spend some time indoors, but mostly they are outdoor at our parks. So you'll see them at Western Branch. They'll do things with the splash park. We have trails behind Western Branch Park, so they'll get a chance to hike the different trails. They go to Northwest River Park to do certain things, and then they have specialized camps per week. So when you look on their camp's website, you'll see that they do super science. They'll do a survivor camp 1 and 2, and so that's basically outside. They get to learn different things. They learn how to make fires and s'mores. They do a lot, so they do all of that. You see Crazy Nature Camp 1 and 2. That is actually a really good camp. They get to learn about different things that are in nature that they probably see every day and have no idea why it's there. And then we do a preschool ranger camp where those kids actually work with our staff and as well as our rangers to get a chance to see what our rangers see and what really go on in our parks. So we really love it. And here are some pictures of what the kids got to do last summer at the summer camp. And so you'll see that they're all out there finding turtles and learning about leaves, doing archery, doing science experiments, doing trail hikes. These are all the fun things that your kids will participate in if they get a chance to come and be in our outdoor program. Even catching fish, that's pretty cool. Next, we have our therapeutic camp, which is a goal-based camp, which I stated before. This camp, you actually must do an intake assessment prior to being a part of it, and it's because it is for our participants with disabilities. We work with all participants with disabilities. If you happen to know an adult with disabilities, there's things that we do with them as well. But it's just all types of things, anything that we could do that's appropriate in the community. That's what we try our best to do. These participants have had a chance to venture out and go to different farms and learn different skills. We take them throughout. They get beach days, anything you could think of. This is what we try our best to have them do. We want them out in the community as much as possible so they can see what Chesapeake is like and what other areas are like. And so my recreation coordinator for therapeutic recreation is Melody Beck. And so her email, her number, and her contact information should be shown for you right now. So if you happen to know anyone that might need anything, please reach out to her. She'll gladly be of assistance to you.
And Thurman, we've got a couple questions. We've got one comment, love this, and that came in right as you were talking about that last camp. So I assume that is what she was talking about, and I agree.
Oh, yeah, I hope you love these pictures then. These are the kids from last summer. Look. Okay, I'm sorry. Now next
awesome. You're good. Can you talk about the times for the outdoor camp?
Yes, so outdoor camp is a little different. They generally start at around 9 o'clock. Sometimes it's 10. It depends on the week because each week their camp is a little different because it's programmed by the week. So each week is a little different. So some weeks are 9, some weeks are 10, but they are traditionally done and over with by 3. They do partial day camps. And I know it probably hasn't been axed yet, but all of our camps are traditionally $100 a week with a $25 registration fee. The preschool ranger camp is typically 9 to 12. So I believe their camp is $50 or $75. I don't have it in front of me, but I know it's a little cheaper than the traditional camp because it's a little shorter.
And that's funny. That question came in as soon as you started talking about it. But the question to go along with that is, when will we be able to sign up for summer camp?
Yes, we do summer camp registration in April. It will be the first Wednesday in April, and I believe that's April 3rd. And so that's when we will start registration for outdoor camps and stay and play camps, as well as TR camps. The specialty camps, which they will typically start a little bit later, just because those are single week camps for typically like 3 or 4 days. So those start a little bit later.
All right. And then going back to the times, do you offer early drop off before 9 a.m.?
At this time, no, we do not. I'm so sorry.
All right. Thank you.
All right. So here's some wonderful pictures that you guys have had a chance to look at for a while of our kids getting a chance to experience everything about the 757. They got a chance to go to the Splash Park at Western Branch. They were at the Children's Museum. You can see the Great Bridge Bridge. They were out there. They went to a Ties game. That's what they're doing by that frog. They've gone to the aquarium. Like they have all types of fun activities that they do. We try our best to keep them very active, very engaged, and excited about everything that they do. All right. So next is my specialty camps. These camps are generally 2 to 5 days per week for about 2 to 4 hours. These camps are focused on a specific activity. So last summer we had a Lego camp, tennis camp, karate camp, boxing camp, art camp, dance camp, gymnastic camp, and theater camp. And our theater camp has actually held 2 different plays. We actually will use one of the schools, and we've produced 2 little plays. We buy the rights and let the kids have fun, and they really enjoy it. But our Lego camp is really neat because we actually partner with the Lego Corporation. They actually send out folks, and it's a whole STEAM-based camp, so they get to learn how to put things together and engineer all types of things with the Lego camp. I'm not going to lie, the Lego camp feels very fast. Last year, I believe we held the Lego camp at Deep Creek. So there's a possibility that the camp will either be at Deep Creek or maybe our Rivercrest Community Center location. Because we haven't signed the contract, I don't want to swear where it will exactly be, but it will most likely be at one of those centers.
And we have a comment that the tennis camp is amazing, and this person hopes that it's going to be offered this summer.
It will.
Awesome. And then we have a question, when can the specialty camps open for registration?
So because our specialty camps fill so extremely fast, we try to push those off a little bit closer towards the summer. So if I'm not mistaken, hopefully those should be available by May, early May. So you will have time and you will know. But I know we don't do their registration in April like we do the rest of the camps. And so these wonderful pictures are of our kids in specialty camps. You can see the young man enjoying tennis. You see they're very young, but they can get very old as well playing tennis, and we enjoy it. You can see our kids dancing and painting and doing volleyball. We do have a volleyball camp as well. Soccer is not up here, but we traditionally have a soccer camp out at Greenbrier Middle, and the kids really enjoyed that. This gentleman is actually a really good he was a semi-pro soccer player, if I'm not mistaken, and so the kids really enjoy spending time with him and really learning the real how to play soccer for real. So I love it. All right. Our next slide is about our athletic program, and you can see that's volleyball. So during the summer, we do volleyball, we do 7-on-7 football and flag football. So again, it just depends on what you're interested in. This is one of those things where you sign up and we have the different practices and we'll have things going. Volleyball is really our big sport during the summertime, and we'll have it spread out. We'll have some in Western Branch, some at Rivercrest, and some at Deep Creek Community Center. So please, if you're really interested in athletics, let us know, because that's one of the good things that we have. And so here are some of our pictures of our wonderful kids having a blast, playing football, playing volleyball, and really enjoying themselves and winning trophies for all that they do. So that's just something special, something that we like to do. All right, next, I want to talk to you about our youth scholarship program. Our scholarship program is something that we offer in the city. It is a one-time $65 per year credit to your account. And so if you have the need for the scholarship, you're more than welcome to apply for it. It's for any family that are having some financial hardships. You're more than welcome to apply. The credit will be added to your account, and you can use that for any of our athletic, TR, which is for our therapeutic, the leisure classes, which would be our specialty camps, or even memberships. Now for stay and play and summer blast, we do something called reduced fee. That program works along with the scholarship. So you must be approved for the scholarship. And if there is space available, we can give you the reduced fee. We do so many reduced fees per year, and with the reduced fee, we actually cut our summer camp or our after-school rate in half. So currently, our summer camp rate is $100 per week. So instead of paying the $100, this person would pay $50 per week, and that's something that could go on for the entire summer. All right.
We've got some questions that have come in, Thurman.
Okay,
perfect
well,
timing.
I'm at my question slide. That's
That
what I
works
have.
out.
Perfect.
All right. So can you, for this person asking, can you talk about the specific camps that Western Branch offers?
Yes. So for this summer, Western Branch will be our outdoor camp heavy. And the reason why, and I will be very transparent, we normally do a lot more of our outdoor camp at Northwest River Park, but we're actually doing some renovations to Northwest. So we've had to move all of the outdoor camps to Western Branch, because that is the one center where we actually have trails and other outdoorsy like things for our outdoor camp to do. So as of right now, outdoor camp will start in July. It does not start in June. It does start in July, and it will be week-based camps And some of the week-based camps are age-based camps because remember I told you the Junior Ranger camp is for the younger kids. So you'll have different things like that. That's the only specific camp that will be in Western Branch. Now, if you're willing to make a 20-minute ride, and I know that's hard to say, depending on where you're going to work, Deep Creek is not that far, and Deep Creek would be your next option for a traditional summer camp from 9 to 6 for the 8 weeks during the summer.
All right, thank you. And the next question, can you tell us more about gymnastics, like what levels?
Yes. So right now for gymnastics, we're restarting gymnastics. For a while, gymnastics was booming and really successful with us, but it sort of died down. So right now we're just basically doing like the beginner level gymnastics, just trying to grow and get it strong so we can, have more advanced levels. But right now they're learning very basic gymnastic stuff. So I tell everyone, we want to teach you so you can go to Ocean Tumblers. If your child is already in Ocean Tumblers, being Simone Biles or anybody else, unfortunately, we may not be the place for them because we're just trying to see if they're really liking it, if they're really interested in it, so you know how to move to that next step.
All right. And the next question, can you sign up all at the same time for all the weeks you need for Summer Blast Camp program, or do you have to do it week by week?
Yes, so you can sign up all at once, and I would suggest that when it's time to sign up for Summer Blast, sign up for every week possible. Our summer camps will fill very fast. I can assure you Deep Creek will fill the first day. I don't say that in a cocky way. I say that in this is something that has happened traditionally, so I don't want to give you a false perception of what will happen. Deep Creek will fill very fast. So I tell everyone, because we do pay by the week, really look at your schedules, figure out what you need, what you don't need, and sign up for the weeks as soon as possible. Because once they fill, we're full, and unless we know something strange has happened.
All right. And the next question, when should we look for volleyball registration?
Volleyball registration should be out for the summer in, I believe, April. Yes, April, because we're going to start in June. So it should be out by April to do registration. So please look out. Now, FYI, we're in basketball season right now, and after basketball season, we will go into volleyball as well for just the regular fall, wintry springtime. So if you guys really are interested in volleyball, that registration for the school year time right now will probably open in February.
All right. And another volleyball question that's available for 9-year-olds.
Yes, it is.
All right, wonderful. And then we've got a comment that Summer Blast camps are great. So sign up for as many weeks as you're able to. And
Thank
then we have another question. I'm not positive what this is referring to. Can you sign up online?
Oh, so I got it. No, we do not allow online registration. And I always tell everyone that I'll fall on the sword and take that one myself. I've been in the city of Chesapeake about 9 years, and I think my first year we did that online registration, and it feels so fast. It disenchanted a lot of our parents, and it actually shut down our website really fast. So we have decided not to do that for summer camp registration. We do online registration for everything else, but summer camp got a little rough. So we always do it in person. And it'll be when we open our center. So our center's open at 9. So registration will open right at 9 o'clock when we open. The sooner you get there, the better.
All right. And then another question, are there any programs for 3-year-olds?
So yes and no. Our specialty camps, instructional programs offer programs for 3-year-olds. It's not necessarily a camp. They have classes like some of them are sort of like mommy and me classes, and some of them are actually classes where you might can take your child and they can be there for, they're normally like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and then you pick them up. So we do offer those types of craft like open play type classes where we have like different manipulatives out. Let them go to the gym, let them play throughout the gym. We will have those types of things with one of our instructors, faithfully watching and ensuring that everyone is, safe and learning. But if you're looking for a per se camp, we don't actually have a camp for a 3-year-old.
Got it. And then a question, the age minimum for Summer Blast is 6 or completed kindergarten, or 6 and completed kindergarten?
I'm sorry, I speak fast sometimes. So it's 6 and completed kindergarten. And part of the reason why we do that is because we're not licensed. So because we're not licensed, our kids need to be first grade and up.
All right, so we do not have any questions at this time, but please feel free to put in any last minute questions for the YMCA or Chesapeake Parks Recreation and Tourism in the Q&A before we sign off. I just want to thank both of you so much for the wealth of information and all of the awesome programs that we have going on in Chesapeake. So as a reminder, if you have any questions about tonight's webinar, or if you need any additional information or resources, please contact us at face@cpschools.com. As I said earlier, this webinar was recorded, and we will be sending out the recording to everyone who registered. And I'm just double checking the Q&A for any last minute questions. I don't see any. So this concludes our Unlocking Summer Fun webinar. And again, I'd like to thank our panelists for sharing information with us this evening. This webinar will be uploaded to the Chesapeake Public Schools YouTube page within the next several days. And again, we will send it out. And thank you so much for joining us this evening. And remember, families and communities work better together. Have a good evening.